Hey guys, EST here, and it's been way too long since I uploaded a video, so we're covering post-inflation in 2025, and who even knows what the current status of tariffs are right now. But with those two factors, how much will it cost you if you were to start right now? Well, $125, I put it in the title. If you haven't figured it out already for these shopping challenges, we all pretty much just add it up first, and then we say the number at the beginning after we're already done. But yeah, you could put together a setup that would put you so far ahead of other people it wouldn't even be funny for $125. I kept this to just the essentials. Now, I keep feeling like there's something I missed that would be so obvious I didn't think of it, so feel free to put anything down in the comment section, of course. But with all that said, let's jump into it. So first up, any kind of triple antibiotic ointment. It's still pretty effective these days. I prefer a more scorched earth kind of thing, go get some iodine, go get some hydrogen peroxide. That's a better general wound treatment, but this is compact, it doesn't spill, it's non-volatile, doesn't stain your fingers, it's just the nice one. So I found it online for $7.50 with free shipping, which is kind of weird. I wouldn't generally recommend buying medications online. You want the shortest expiration date you can get, and drugstores kind of hit you pretty hard. Walmart's kind of okay right now on prices. Otherwise, weirdly, Costco is pretty cheap. Especially if you want, diphenhydramine, which is antihistamine and sleep aid, in bulk. They got a pretty good deal on it. Otherwise, just the dollar store. So technically, I think you can get away a little bit cheaper. I've actually seen this cheaper at the hardware store now that I think about it, but I'm going 100% eBay prices because I don't shop on Amazon, neither should you, and honestly, eBay's cheaper. So next up, we've got a set of flashlights because why not get three? I mean, they're $7 individually, so you get a 6-pack for $15, by the way. These are insane. I own about 12 of these that I bought from various vendors, various little iterations of this model, this style. It doesn't really have a brand, but a grand total of 0 of them have been defective or broken. Even over 10 years, none of them are broken, and they are turbo bright. But they either run on a set of 3 AAAs, which I wouldn't recommend, or a big, chonkin 18650 battery. So then you would need a way to charge it. So I included a just single little USB charger. I'd recommend an X-Tar that can do 4 of them. But then you're getting up into the $25 range, so okay, that's a little high, but if you have multiple things like a battery-powered fan and then a flashlight and a couple other items like a battery bank, okay, now you're all running on 18650, let's get a 4-up charger. But the typical solar panel that just spits out a USB connection can barely handle charging one of them, just with the number of watts, or I guess you could say amps that it pushes. But hey, $16.50, and then we got the solar panel. So this is a moderate quality one. I think I haven't reviewed this exact precise one, but ones like this, especially ones that are on the, I just call them cutting board material, because that's, I think, what they actually are. They tend to just all be pretty good. I mean, I did a comparative review, and some of them stood out a little bit, but you almost just can't go wrong as long as you don't get one on Temu or AliExpress, because a lot of them are badly exaggerated and very untested. They put a UV-proof coating on one of them. I wish I could make that up. Spoiler from the last video. But on eBay, they tend to be kind of okay. I haven't really tried Amazon, obviously. But for about $10-15, you can get a good one. If you want a little bit better one, a folding one, you're looking at 20 to 30. But yeah, those tend to reach 10 to 15 watts. Whatever they say for the rating, cut it in half, and this is 5, so I'm a little bit concerned. But you can buy a bigger one for about $10. And it just has what they call a buck converter in there, and it spits out USB, A-type socket. So you could use A to mini, A to A, or A to C and charge anything. Next up, you gotta have paracord, except you don't have to have paracord. Everybody says, no, I want mil-spec paracord. I want, quote-unquote, the real stuff. It's gotta be mil-spec. Here's a little diagram. Draw it in your head. Are you using it to actually parachute out of an airplane? If yes, get mil-spec and spend triple. If not, just get some kind of nice 7-strand stuff that's probably a little bit lower than its 550-pound break weight, I believe is why it's called that. What the heck are you securing that needs a 550-pound break weight? You just need some paracord. It's to tie down a tarp or something, or to make a structure, whatever. Fix your clothing. I mean, I could go on. Now, I think I can get this a tiny bit cheaper at my local hardware store, but not by much. And I chose the 100 feet because that sounds about right. Next up, windproof lighter. Once again, I recommend going to a gas station or a hardware store just because they ship them in bulk and they ship them themselves. It is somewhere between illegal and not allowed by policy to ship this, depending upon the shipping service, the carrier, in America, any kind of explosive butane gas. But a lot of online sellers are using this amazing new technique called breaking the law and hoping their package doesn't get inspected. So to me, $6.99 is actually a pretty good price. But this exact model, this body, it says Eagle brand. Sure it is, whatever. It's just this Chinese model. But I haven't had many problems with this exact body style with like that kind of wider tank. You see the visibility on the bottom so you can see how full it is. It's refillable. I mean, it's just nice. And it can light about 1,000 fires before it runs out. So that's like better than a ferro rod. It's also windproof because it's a jet lighter. So you want to look for the term jet or windproof. Those other ones are pathetic and don't work in about a 3-mile-an-hour wind. Next up, you need a knife and everybody says, oh, this is a good starter knife. And then you look it up and it's like $120. Bro, Gerber, all right? I am not even kidding. I just bought one of these because I didn't believe it. Everybody's reviewed this like it was the best thing they've ever seen. And I looked on eBay and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I've never seen a quote unquote good knife below like $30. I got this thing, and not only is it about double the size as I just kind of pictured it in my head, but it is just solid quality. None of that silicone grip. It's like a hybrid. Like, it's not that rubber that sweats and gets gooey. Looks like 440 steel. Good edge, good thickness, full tang, which means the blade goes into the handle. It's not like a separate piece, or it's not inserted and then secured at the joining point. Good retention, goes on your belt. I mean, I am impressed. Now, I'm not a knife guy, but I know like Smith & Wesson makes some pretty good ones. They have like a special op one, which besides the cringe name, okay, cool. Frost makes one, which Frost is like medium quality. I have one. I use it for like yard work because it's gigantic. It's actually hard to do precision stuff with it. I'm pretty sure it's mostly aluminum, which is kind of cool, but it didn't strike me as that great, but I haven't broken it yet. So, hey. There's one from WXCOO that was pretty good, but it's 3.5 inch. And then that Frost one, the ones that they typically say are like, oh, this is a survival knife, 14 inches. That is a short sword. So it depends what you're looking for. But like, if you're going to be, feathering a stick and like gutting an animal, you probably want at least like a 4.5 to 6 inch. But right around like 8+, it starts getting hard to do precision tasks and a little bit dangerous and harder to carry. I believe there's one called the Contour Feather. That one's supposed to be pretty good. CRKT. They got one. It's just called the 2396, and it's supposed to be like really good. Schrade, that's SCHRADE, makes a pretty good extreme survival slim fixed blade one. And Stat Gear has the Survive-All, with no E, clever, fixed blade knife. But that one's like 45, and it's like, is it really that much better? People point at Cold Steel. I mean, they are the king of cringe. But their products are still pretty good, and personally, I like MTech, so there's really like a lot of really good budget knives out there, but people know a lot more about it than me. But I've got to say, I don't think anything's touching this at this price point. There's a statement that'll piss people off, which is why I'm saying it, because I hate the gear princesses who have way more money than I and probably you do, and don't live in the real world. If you have a cheap knife and a knife sharpener, you have an expensive knife. I can hear you typing. I can actually hear it in my headphones right now. You're saying, no, actually, no. Yeah, okay, I've seen comparative tests between like $20 knives and $200 knives from very, very respectable places like Project Farm. They all rust. They all dull. It's just how fast do they do it? Look, if you already got gun oil on you, put it on your knife. There you go. Oh no, you have to sharpen it once a day instead of once a week. Oh no. Look, if the handle doesn't fall apart and the blade doesn't snap in two, you got a good knife as long as you got a sharpener. And that sharpener is $6. Y'all out there need to calm down with the $200 knives, okay? I'm sure they're lovely. I've seen them in reviews. They're great. They're just not $200 worth of great. And plus, just buy 2 Gerbers. Well, don't buy 2 identical ones that are the same size. Okay, that's just stupid. But like, get 2 budget knives. Next up, some kind of ultra lightweight. So aluminum-based cookware. Trust me, if it's going in a backpack, it's going in your car, it's going anywhere, it's gonna have to be aluminum. Aluminum sticks horribly. Include a scrubbing rag then or something. You kind of probably need a rag for cooking anyway, just because the metal handle. But man, Coleman, I mean, you can trust Coleman. Coleman's a solid name. Them and like Coghlan are like, they're solid. Everything else, low quality, untested Chinese crap, and this is the whole set for $21. Now this is used. It was about double that brand new. But you can find this around. You check Facebook Marketplace, you check estate sales, garage sales, pawn shops, you're going to find these. The next step I would do is enamel, but it's just like heavier. You drop it, it's going to shatter in some cases. And then sometimes they put a nonstick coating on even that. Otherwise, nonstick stainless, you're in trouble. If that gets above like 400 degrees with nothing in it, which is like kind of how you use it on a campfire, you just poisoned all the air around you and probably all the food you cook on it after that. Welcome to the wonderful world of Teflon. So you do not want non-stick. Make sure it's not just like grill safe or high heat safe or non-stick or something. Make sure it is literally a camping kit. And if you just type in aluminum, they ain't going to coat that with anything. And then it's lighter, so that just go with that. Now, can you get away without this and just cook on like really hot rocks around a fire? Yes, but this is so much more efficient. Now, trying to hang this and build some kind of like little structure out of wood, then that like lights on fire, that's kind of a whole thing. You can't just sit there and hold it the whole time, except yes, you can. If you had like a good enough silicone grip thing on the handle, you can get like a, what do they call it? A silicone pan holder that is like a universal that goes over allegedly all handles. I'd recommend that. Otherwise, a lot of this is designed to be lifted up with a stick or something, so you can kind of make it happen. And you don't really need a full set except, well, it would be kind of nice. You'll boil water in one and then cook in the other. You don't necessarily have to do, them at the same time and get into over the same fire as a thing. So you could just buy one, but they tend to go in sets and then they tend to collapse into each other or like stack. So that's like really, really, really nice. This is the way to do it. And these, you will be shocked when you see these. They weigh like maybe 6 ounces together. Next up, a Sawyer Mini, because that's like the go-to membrane one. People like Life Straws, but they're kind of stupid, and this one has like a syringe pressure and like a whole thing. I'd recommend the little bit bigger kit if you can afford it, but Sawyer Mini's already like kind of expensive. Now they're good for 100,000 gallons of basically purified water, so they work until the filter gets jammed up with crap. So I cannot stress this enough. Flat stacking paper coffee filters. People are like, run it through a cotton bandana or do it correctly, because coffee filters will get down to like the micron scale, like a lot of microns, but still. The whole point is that they don't let fine particles through. It's stamped, it's light, it's also flammable. But yeah, you run water through that first and then run it through the filter, you might get upwards of 100,000 gallons. You run pond water through this, you're going to get half a gallon and then you don't have a water filter. A dirt cheap but respectable distillation system for campfires is like over 100 too, so membrane filter it is. But just keep in mind, I can go about a day or two without water because of a unique condition, but you can probably go 2 to 3. I could probably go 30 days without food and just go full keto and just whatever. I could actually stand to lose some weight after COVID here, but yeah. Just keep that in mind. I mean, I have 500,000 plus calories sitting around the house just in, pinto beans, rice, oatmeal, everything, all packed in Mylar. Go look at my video on how to do it. Way cheaper to do it yourself than the bucket solutions, and some of the brands that you've heard of all the time are very, 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 very bad. Really low quality ingredients, just a little bit tastier, but they got like, MSG in them, which like, cool, that's smart. But then they've got stuff that makes the shelf life go from 30 years down to like 5 to 10, and I don't like that. And then freeze-dried is like 15 a meal, so good luck. But water. So that's why food isn't even on here other than cooking, because an unlimited source of food is squirrels and rabbits. It's not truly unlimited, depends on circumstances, and if it's really grid down, they're going to go extinct in about 2 weeks, because humans are very good at hunting them. But you can also cook up like certain roots and stuff like burdock roots, and yeah, you need cookware to do it. So now you got clean water, and then you've also got a cook set. Not quite unlimited sustenance for sure, but pretty darn close to it for moderately cheap. And finally, the last item, a buck converter. In fact, a really, really high wattage one that can do basically anything with a Power Delivery 3.0 chip, a Quick Charge 4 Plus chip. What does all that mean? Well, watch an upcoming video because I just received mine from China. But the super basic thing is this takes any kind of voltage from 6 volts to 35 volts DC and turns it into something that will charge your cell phone, your flashlight, your batteries, your whatever. Now, if your cell phone has a bunch of survival PDFs and medical care PDFs and dental guides and all this other free information that's out there on the internet, and like mushroom identification guides and all the stuff that you would love to store in your brain, but if you don't use it daily, you're not going to remember it anyway, so don't bother learning it in the first place. Have it on your phone, because my phone with the data off, the Wi-Fi off, the Bluetooth off, the screen at 10% brightness can run for about 18 hours. So if I just need to pull up something and reference it for 10 minutes, yeah. And then I've got a little 5 watt, 10 watt, and a 15 watt, and then I have a 45 watt solar panel that I could use to charge it. Well, there you go, but I have to be able to charge it. So this is actually quite literally what is on the back of every solar panel that I've ever reviewed that says, oh, it's a USB solar panel. Yeah, it's just a solar panel with a buck converter. And then this is the new one that could do ultra fast charge. So if you hook this up to like a 100-watt solar panel, hopefully it would be smart enough to limit itself to 60 watts, otherwise cover part of it, or just use a smaller one. You could take a car battery and charge your phone, because this is like a step up, step down converter. That's what it does. I would even dare call it like a miniature power conditioner, because I mean, it's got caps and it's got VRMs. I mean, just saying. Then it's got the new quick charge chips, which are, long story short, what a whole bunch of your devices use. So, I mean, they range. You can get them for $5. I'd get a little bit better one, and this one has a Type A output as long as a Type C output on a double stack. That is so nice. So watch for that in an upcoming video. It is going to be so cool. And people are like, I don't need no electronics in the woods. But what you're forgetting is that you're wrong, and yes, you do. I think I've covered it enough on this channel. I just like making fun of the, 60-year-olds on YouTube. They're like, here's how you start a fire. I don't need no cell phone. And really what's behind that is they just don't know how to use their cell phone on a regular day, so they don't know how to use it on a grid down scenario. So they just lie to you to cover it. I'm a gear guy. I work in IT. And if you appreciate that, hey, hit the subscribe button. Not many people like me out there. Now, a couple things out of my notes. Those flashlights ship without batteries, and sourcing 18650 batteries is actually like kind of hard. I mean, long story short, go to a vape shop. They have moderate quality ones usually. They buy in bulk. They're banned for sale on eBay. They're banned for sale on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist because people are just shipping them illegally, and that's really dangerous. All they had to do is put a marking on it and tell them to ship it slightly slower by not putting it on a plane. That's all they had to do, but people didn't do that, and they ruined it for everybody. But yeah, vape shop. I mean, and if they run a vape, they have to be able to put out a lot of amps. And if they can put out a lot of amps, they're usually high quality. So that's just kind of, get like a Samsung 26C battery or something. But past this, I mean, you got light visibility and then a little bit of self-defense with the flashlight because you can just blind someone with it. It's that bright. A little bit to run your electronics, just the ultra basic. And then you got basically food, water, sanitation, 2 different ways. Some shelter building supplies. You could get a fire and then everybody knows why you need a knife, and that's about it. Now, some nice shoes, okay, but that's like another 100 to 200. And then like you already wear shoes and then they're already on you, so that's like a whole thing, and it could go from there. This could be a $500 video, but I just didn't want to do that. So if you think of something that I forgot or a good stepping up point, like, hey, I'm going to add some gauze, I'm going to add some stop the bleed stuff and just buy it over time if you're ultra budget. Otherwise, just get like, I don't know, Mountain Man Medical is pretty awesome. One of those kits, they're pricey, but they're good. And just step up over time, because people get overwhelmed. They're like, man, I want to get into prepping. Everybody's right. They have the, tornado 3-day outage. Ooh, I'm not going to let that happen again. They finally see the light and start joining our way of thinking, and then they get overwhelmed. They're like, oh, well, this is 200 and this is 100. This is, oh, somebody says I need a generator, and oh man, what do I buy first? They just get overwhelmed and have no idea where to start. And if you know somebody like that, or if you are someone like that, leave a like or send it to them. But add any other cool recommended items in the comments section, or any buying tips or anything else relevant, and we'll help crowdsource this with our various experiences. And that's why I love you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.